In this training video, we're going to discuss the CoreconLink to Sage Intacct and specifically the posting process. This is a process used to move data from Corecon to Sage Intacct. It's illustrated in a diagram that you'll find in your knowledge base. It's important to remember that before attempting the CoreconLink to Sage Intacct posting process, that the posting preferences need to be completed first. That was covered in a separate video. In this video, we're going to cover the information moving from Corecon to Sage Intacct. We're going to do it in two steps. First, those things that relate to the contract admin module. Then we'll do those steps that export data from the procurement module to Sage Intacct. Keeping in mind that the posting process also checks for companies and contacts and will alert you if any need to be created in Sage Intacct. There are 9 steps in this posting process. We're not going to do them in the same order that they appear in the wizard. First, we're going to create the prime contract, which would include the cost codes, the job estimate, and the schedule of values, along with the prime change orders and prime invoices. Then we'll come back and do steps 2 through 7, which all relate to the procurement module. So before we go into the posting process, I'd just like to show you that I've already created a new project. It's never been posted. And if we go to contract admin, we have a new prime contract and it's marked approved, a new change order, also approved, prime invoice. Prime invoice does have retainage. Next, we'll go to the procurement, and we've created 2 new and approved purchase orders. There's also 2 bills that are related to these purchase orders, and there's 1 bill that has no PO. There's a new subcontract, a new subcontract change order, and a new sub-invoice. All have been approved. To initiate the posting process, we're going to go to our CoreconLink, and we're going to use the batch posting wizard. You can see there's our new project ready to go. There's also a new prime contract. We're just going to click post. And as mentioned, you'll be able to select the location, which is a dimension in Sage Intacct. We're going to create a new project in Sage, and we're going to leave the sub-project option to no. You do have the option to create the contract line items as job cost codes or as owner codes. We're going to select job cost codes. We're going to create a new prime estimate, which some would call a budget. We'll create a new prime contract, and we'll click post and update. And you can see the job and the primary estimate have already exported. And click close. Now we're going to skip over the procurement records and transactions for the time being. We'll come back to those and run this process again. So we're going to skip the purchase orders. We'll skip subcontracts. We'll skip the bills and the sub-invoices. We want to post the prime contract change order for this project. So I'm just going to select the one. I do have the option to post multiples, or I can post individually. It's asking for confirmation, and then we click post and update. Next, we're going to post the prime invoice. Again, I can post multiples, or I can just post one at a time. It's asking us to confirm. We could change the terms, by the way, and click post and update. Since these are for a separate project, we're going to skip those and just click finish. As far as posting is concerned, you're also going to have an option if you're an administrator in Corecon to post some of these records from within the detail. We're not going to do that, but just so you know that it's there. Now let's go over to Sage Intacct. We're going to switch the entity to the same one we're using. We're going to go to Applications, Jobs, and then Jobs again to provide a job list. And one way to see this is to just, since we know the project number. Select that one and let's click View. So during this process, Corecon checked to make sure that there was a customer match, and if there were none, it would have asked us or prompted us to create a new one in Sage Intacct. This one was already existing. It also created the cost codes, the estimate. If we go back to Jobs and scroll down just a bit, there's a Job Contracts. You can find that again. We'll go ahead and click Lines first. You can see the cost codes are lined up with the schedule of values. That was all created by CoreconLink. We can also go to Job Change Orders. We can see it created the job change order here, both budget and price. If we go up to Jobs again, down to Order Entry, and over to Contract Invoices, you'll be able to see that the prime invoice was also created. Now let's go back and do the same for the procurement records and transactions. So we're going to go back to CoreconLink, go to Batch Posting Wizard. There are 2 purchase orders ready to post. So we'll select both. This time we'll use multiple, so we'll go Post Purchase Orders. If this were a long list of purchase orders, we could allow the CoreconLink to post these in batch and later email us when it's complete, or we can just post it while we wait. This posted successfully. Next, we have a subcontract ready to post. See all the information came in, both line items, the total. Click Post and Update. Then we'll click Skip because there's no others to export. There's one subcontract change order. Click Post and Update. We'll click Skip. Now we'll go to Bills. I'm just going to post the bills that relate to this project. Click Post Approved Bills. Then we'll click Skip. Since we already posted the prime change order, we'll click Skip again. We've already posted the prime invoice, so we'll click Finish. Now if we go back over to Sage Intacct, again we're in the GC entity. Next we'll go to Purchasing and Purchase Orders. You can see both purchase orders came over. Next we'll go to Subcontracts. There's our subcontract. Next we'll go to Subcontract Change Order, and that one posted as well. Now we'll go up to Accounts Payable, select Bills. You can also see the bills also posted. And back to Jobs. It's important to remember that any retainage found on the prime invoices or the subcontract invoices are also recorded by the CoreconLink and Sage Intacct. In each step, the CoreconLink checks for an existing company related to the record or transaction. If there is none, it will create that company in Sage Intacct. Let's go back to the CoreconLink. Next, we'll want to take a look at the posting log. Corecon keeps these posting logs indefinitely. You'll be able to see everything that posted. If there's error messages and you're not sure what those mean, you can also export to Excel and send that Excel spreadsheet to techsupport@corecon.com. Remember too that transactions can be posted directly from the transaction itself. If we go back to Corecon, for example, in the sub invoice, when you pull down actions, you'll have post to Sage. Of course, this one's already been posted. You may also want to note, if we go back to procurement, jump up to bills, you'll see that if the global settings lock is turned on, you'll also be able to see this padlock icon, which means that the transaction has already been posted to Sage Intacct. If I wanted to post this remaining vendor bill, I go to Actions, click Post to Sage Intacct. I do not have to go into the CoreconLink to Sage Intacct to post this bill. Back to the CoreconLink. There's also a few other features although we're not covering them in this video, just to explain. There's a discrepancies process that you can run that will make sure that the dollar amounts of transactions recorded in Corecon that were exported to Sage Intacct match the dollar amount found in Sage Intacct. There's another option to retrieve the payment information. So once a vendor bill or a sub-invoice or the prime invoice have been exported to Sage Intacct and subsequently paid in Sage Intacct, this information will pull that back into Corecon in summary. This is a handy feature because sometimes Corecon users don't necessarily have access to Sage Intacct. You also have a way to retrieve job cost totals periodically and compare those to the actual job costs recorded in Corecon. If you'd like to know more about this information, we encourage you to go to the knowledge base, down to integration and public APIs, accounting and ERP systems, and then the CoreconLink for Sage Intacct. This is a third video on the subject. The first video was about setting up the CoreconLink and sync preferences. There was another that was an overview and covered some of the advanced utility features. This is the video that covered the posting process. The information in these knowledge base articles includes additional details we may not have covered in this training video.